Hello and welcome to Taheton Farms. We're back with another episode of Taheton County, and we have just wrapped up the bean harvest. Had a minor issue with recording, so we brought all of the equipment up to the farm here off camera, and the plan is to move the time forward and jump into corn harvest here today. So I'm just putting all of our equipment away, getting everything hooked up. It is September right now, and I believe we're going to be able to start off our harvest on corn in October here. So we're just going to put the truck away, make sure it's out of the way here. We've got a small-ish yard, and sometimes it pays to just make sure that we're keeping all of the equipment out of the way. I do have an equipment swap that we're going to make today. This grain cart is awesome. It's more than large enough for our two combines. However, DRModding just released the new Balzer grain cart, and I'm super excited to try that out, partially because I worked with Balzer on American Farming. We put the same grain cart into American Farming on mobile, so it'll be kind of fun to see a farm sim PC quality version of that mod done. One of the downsides of working with mobile gaming is that we often have to really simplify models to get them to perform well on a mobile platform, so I'm always excited to get to check out some high quality mods by DRModding. They usually do a pretty bang up job on getting them done. So we're gonna take this combine out here now. I guess we do need to move the time forward, so I'm gonna hop out here. We're gonna do that real quick, and we'll make sure that our crops are gonna be ready to harvest. And the thought being that we're going to tackle the cornfields manually here up by the farm, and then we'll get courseplay running on the big field here shortly. So I'm looking forward to diving into this. Let me just look and see, how big are these fields? We've got these 3 fields that we're going to tackle. Make sure we've got everything good to go. I'm going to leave the header folded up until we get out into the field, though, because this field is a little bit narrow right here, and we might as well just jump right into this first bigger field. I could actually do this one with courseplay as well, probably, but I don't know how it's going to handle the far end of that field. Just looking at how narrow it gets down here, that might be more trouble than it's worth. So let's jump into this. We'll tackle it ourselves. And I'm going to jump over here. We're butting up against that fence post just a little bit there. And if I can just find the right rows here, we should be able to get a GPS course. Working with is set, up down rows set, and we're off. And we got it just perfectly lined up here. If we jump in cab, why does it not look so perfectly lined up in cab? It was doing great out of cab. We must have planted some crooked rows, so maybe we won't quite be able to use the GPS just yet. We'll try to tackle this as is. I can always reorient to this new path, but then I see up ahead here we jump over yet again. The joy of crooked rows. We'll just take these headlands off manually, I suspect. Be a little bit easier. Oh, there's a fence post hiding over there. Well, that's unfortunate. I have figured out how to get rid of all these fences now, but we just haven't gotten around to moving all of them. It's a really awkward corner there for the fence. We're just gonna chop a chunk out here, and I'm gonna take the headlands all the way around on this field. We do have 24 rows per planter pass, and I can't remember if I did 2 planter passes of headlands up here. Can't quite tell from this angle with the way the corn is. So we're gonna just keep going here, and when we get to the end rows, I should be able to turn around and figure it out. I've been really excited to jump in here and do some more row crop harvesting. I suppose I could maybe move in cab here in a second to avoid doing this where we completely overshoot. It's hard to tell where my rows are here because we planted so crooked. If we jump in here, I'm going to make sure we're lined up to start with, and then I'm going to see if I can keep my snouts in the right rows here. I have to say, even in real life, I had a hard time with this from time to time. Would jump a row if you weren't paying attention. You look away for a second on a little bit of a side hill or something, and the header has a way of confusing me sometimes, but you can definitely pull it off. It's a little bit difficult. I feel like the way that the corn texture is laid out, it's really thick, and it makes it a little bit hard to see where the rows are, especially at this speed. I mean, we are going a bit fast. For whatever reason, this thing is able to run at 8 miles an hour, which seems a mite fast to me for harvesting corn. I know it's only a 12 row with this big X9, but there's a lot going on when you're harvesting corn like this that I would have a hard time keeping up with this in real life, that's for sure. But we're going to take this down to the end. We're going to have a lot of double rows down here, and I think we'll just continue around the outside of the field here. We are pulling in 277 bushels an acre, which is really good for corn, but not quite so unrealistic as our soybeans were. I'll be curious to see if I can complete our headlands without needing to unload. We'll find out. And you'll notice we have the chopping knives on this header, so all of our corn stalks are getting mulched up, it looks like, as soon as we harvest, which is awesome. I don't know if it's actually going to count as the mulching bonus or not, but we'll have to take a look at the map and see if it'll let us know. Now I'm trying to follow these rows around. We're losing some of it. That's okay, because when we planted this, I think I went way off into the grass, but it's just so difficult sometimes to figure out where we need to go to follow these rows, especially down here where we've got a lot of double rows planted. You can see it's just really thick up to my right there, but we're gonna just try and stay in our rows here, even when we lose a few of them into the grass, and follow this all the way around. Oh, I'm not sure. I think I just got off a row. There it is. Yep. That's okay. We'll back up and try and stay on target. And I think we're getting it. This is going to be a lot of corn off of these fields. We've done a fair amount of soybeans, but it just doesn't compare in volume to corn. And look at all the weeds already coming up on the soybean field there. The plan is to get a high-speed disc and run over those fields. I can't remember. I'm going to have to look at the precision farming stuff, but I think that depending on what type of tillage we do, it's going to cut down on the weeds that we get out in that field the next year. So then we're not having to do quite as much spraying because the herbicide does hit your precision farming score, I think, a little bit. Although if you're using spot spraying, I don't think it does much. So we'll have to look at that. It's been a little bit since I tried to do anything with some of these extra mechanics, but it would be fun to run some different tillage equipment and different things on this map than we typically do. And you can see where our chopping blades were running on the grass there. We mowed that grass down as well. Interesting. That's kind of cool. I'm going to back up here. We're going to get these 3 stalks that I missed, because why not? We're here. And then I'm going to keep going on the headland pass here. I'm going to go at least another full time around the field. I forgot to really pay attention and find out how many headland passes I took with the planter. I can't remember now. Trying to get in here. We were off by a row originally, I think, heading down here, so I'm trying to make up that difference right now and pick up that other row. I think we've got it. We'll have a handful of stalks left down on the other end there to clean up, but that's okay. We're gonna just keep trucking here on the headland, and I'll check back in with you in just a minute. It looks like I lost a row on the left-hand side there. I was off a row the whole way down this headland pass, but You can very clearly see where the planter rows were on my right, so I've been following that here, and we're just going to cut our way out to the end, and I'm going to have to go clean up this row of shame that we've left down the headland pass now. That's all right. It's part of the fun of using this mod is trying to figure out how to stay on the rows a little bit better. I'm not sure how we're going to do that moving forward. Like, what do we do to do a better job of this? I don't know. It's been a lot of fun, though, that's for sure. I think what I'm going to do, though, I was going to say is take the headlands off completely on this end, but I can't remember if I did 2 headland passes all the way around or just on the top and bottom rows. Man, I wish I could tell. Let's see if we can see our rows here. It does look like I did 2 full planter passes all the way around. So I guess there's no sense in doing anything other than just following this all the way around the field 2 times, which will make life easy, I suppose. And I'm finding that to stay with my rows, at least in the external camera view, it's easiest to just keep an eye on the right-hand side here. Now, it does mean that I'm occasionally losing a stalk of corn over there, which is unfortunate. We might come back and grab some of those, or we might just live with it. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could just follow the left-hand side, and it won't really matter that much if we're missing something on the right, but it's the principle of the matter right now. We're getting mighty full here. I'm hoping I can at least make it down to the end and get the pipe out and be set up in a spot that's convenient for unloading, but I'm not so sure. We've definitely got a lot of corn here in the hopper. 99%. Oh, we didn't quite make it. We got like 2 feet left there. Not even. That's all right. We've got plenty of room here for the grain cart to get in, and because we're running just the 12-row header, we're not going to have any problems getting in here. So I'm going to go ahead and sell our existing grain cart. It's $78,000 because we're gutsy, and I know that this other one's going to work out great. One thing I noticed, it's not a branded Balzer grain cart. They must not have all of the licensing stuff hammered down just yet. I'm going to put a scale on there because that sounds fun. What is the shovel? Oh, there's an actual shovel on the side for cleaning things out. Nice. Air hose, reel, and fire extinguisher. There you go. Chain cover. Oh yeah, we want covers. We're going to have a tarp because why not? And we could go for different colors, but you know what? This thing needs to be black. That's just what color I've always seen it in. And we're going to go from there. There's different tires, but we're going to go with the defaults. Oh, let's check what we got. Oh, there we go. The lizard tires are nice. Custom tires. Ooh, look at all of these. Man, I kind of like those diamond treads. I think we're gonna go for those. So after looking at all of the tire options, I think we're gonna go with these lizard ones. These look pretty close to what I've seen on these grain carts in the past. I do wish that there was a tracked option. I think they actually have a tracked option IRL. The problem being though, oh my goodness, is that that's going to run a smidge more money than we have right now. So I'm going to have to exit out and take out a quick loan if we want to get this big beast of a grain cart. That's all right. We don't have any kind of a loan just yet. I'm going to take out 50K just to make sure we've got enough to play around with. And we'll jump back in here and get that all set up. Now, I had hoped to focus on a lot of tracked equipment in this playthrough, but I can't pass up an opportunity for something fun like this. So we're gonna roll with it and see what happens. And man, this thing is ginormous. I can't wait to see. Now this thing holds twice as much grain as the one that we just got rid of, which is just insane. 2,850 bushels of corn. That's going to be 2 semi-loads, I believe, even with our slightly upgraded semi, which means that we're going to be able to keep the combines moving quite easily here. And I think as soon as we get the headlands off on this field, what I'll do is I'll bring the other combine out here and set it up with a normal worker to work from one end of the field while I work from the other. That way we can knock out some of this corn pretty quickly, because running it manually and having all of this downtime in between is going to really slow down our harvest capabilities. Another thing that I'm noticing as I drive this around is that the axles aren't turning. Oh, there they turn. I just wasn't turning tight enough. I was going to say the axles should be turning on this grain cart, which is a core feature of it and pretty cool. So there you go. They've got all the cool whistles and bells on this thing. Bells and whistles even, maybe? Haha. All right, well, let's leave that there, and we can jump back into our combine and finish knocking out some of these headland rows once it's emptied out. I'm excited. Corn harvest is by far the funnest part of Farm Sim for me. We've got the time set on 5x right now. I'm trying to get into a little bit brighter part of the day. It's a little bit dark here in the morning still. I was expecting some more colors, a little bit more of vibrancy here on the map today as we get into harvest, but it's a little bit dreary. We got a lot of clouds out, so I wish the sun would come out, shine on our harvest, bring along some of those happy feelings, but it is what it is. We've got our exceptionally long train over there, and we're gonna just I think I'm going to clean up all of these awkward rows down here as long as we're here, rather than continuing on the headland passes immediately. So once I get up here to where it turns to the left back in towards the farm, we're going to just cut through and come back down here and clean up all of this little bit of corn in the corner. Just get it done, get it out of the way so that we don't have to keep thinking about it. I could always do it on the next path back down, I suppose, though. That would actually maybe work out better, because then I will be getting full with the combine by then, and we can empty in the corner. Maybe we'll do that. I think we'll make it back down there. We'll test our luck, see what happens. We're missing a row on the outside there as I try to clean up this planting area. It's been honestly kind of a hassle having these Rowcrop rows and trying to stick to them more realistically. It definitely highlights that I'm not the best driver in Farm Sim here. We've made a mess of this. I'm losing rows on both sides. How is that even possible? We must have missed multiple rows when we harvested the first pass over here. So that just goes to tell you how far off we were. We'll grab this though, and then follow this all the way back up the field. I'm gonna jump a row here. Yeah, we're missing a row on my right now. Oh goodness. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle this in the long run, folks. The jumping rows and visibly seeing just how bad we're doing at staying on target here is gonna eat away at me. Oh my gosh, it's killing me. So now that we're actually just focusing on headlands, there's no point in doing the up-down row right there. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna follow this headland pass all the way back around, because this is the part that gets curvy, where that's our straight up down rows now. So if we can just get these headlands off, I can get the other combine out here and start having him move back and forth down the up down rows. So that's where I'm starting to get to a point. I'm realizing this is going to take a little bit longer than I thought to harvest this field. So I'm going to run this down to the corner and then bring him right back up on this end, and then we'll go take the headlands off the other end, and we'll get the other combine out here so that we can have two machines moving and hopefully knock this field out in this episode. All right, I have gotten the bulk of the run down to the corner here right as we got there. I'm coming back around. We're gonna take this strip all the way down with me, and then I can clean up what's down here while I'm down there, and then we'll never have to come back down to this end of the field again. Should save us a little bit of monkeying around, lots of driving back and forth. Not enthused about all these half rows, and man, we've got a mess over there. I don't know, folks. We're gonna end up taking the headland pass back up and then having to pick up 2 or 3 rows that we've missed just because we're off by a row or 2 as we were doing that opening headland pass, and it's just cascaded through the next several headland passes. There's a lot of double rows down here, so I'm trying to take this out without making too much of a mess. We're doing pretty good here. We're going to be about half full once we get the corner done, and we'll just toss that right into the grain cart here before we head back up. It's going to work out pretty well for us. I don't think I'm quite going to be able to fit this in a single pass. I've got 2 rows up here that I've got to pick up on my right hand side, so we'll go ahead and line up to pick up those rows, and then I'll circle back and get the 2 that we're missing right now. Looking good, and we might as well rotate over here and pick up these 2 stray corn stalks if we can. And here we go, last 2 rows that we're missing. While we do that, let's take a quick look and see if I can remember where the mulching is. I don't see it here. Stubble tillage? Mulched, that's what I'm looking for. So let me get rid of needs plowing. And yeah, all of this is counting as mulched on the map. Here, I'll bring that back up for a second. So we will get a yield bonus out of this field the next year. I love that we've got a header that's doing that for us. That's going to be pretty cool. So let's go ahead and empty out while we're here. And I called it perfectly at 50%. Don't do that too often. I'm actually usually quite terrible at estimating these kinds of things. But we should get just enough corn in there to cover up the auger on the bottom. It's insane that we've put probably, 600 bushels of corn in here, and we're barely registering it at the bottom of the grain cart. That's all right. I love the big equipment. We could honestly use some 16-row headers on these combines. However, then it wouldn't line up with our planting rows. And I don't know. I'm trying to think about maybe there's a different planter coming out that I could convert over to Rowcrop. I'd love to get a 32-row planter. I think it'd be 32, right? I know that they make one like a DB. Would that be a DB90? Oh, I'm off several rows here. A DB90 would be perfect for this farm. Then I could just run the one, and I would only have to do 1 headland pass with it, and then I could run 2 of our 16-row headers. It would mess with our spraying setup a little bit, but I don't think that's a huge problem. We could definitely think that through a little bit more. And yeah, I'm not entirely sold that I'm doing the right number of headland, or right number of rows right now. I feel like I'm missing a row all the way down here, but that's all right. We're trying to follow along best we can here, and yeah, I'll check in with you guys here once we get this headland done. All right, we are done with the headland passes, I believe, and so I'm going to go ahead and get this guy lined up here and send him down the up-down rows with the built-in game helper. It's not gonna stay on the rows for long, I don't expect. However, it should work out good enough, and that's gonna give me the capacity to go grab our other combine here, which should be all set up and ready to go for corn harvest. And that way I can work from one end with this combine while the helper's working from the other. And I can even set up a helper with both of them and go grab that grain cart and start unloading the combines on the go. Want to see how that grain cart works, put it to the test. And I'm excited because we're about to finish our first field here of corn harvest. Now, oh, did we not finish the one headland pass down here? I think we didn't. Let me just look. Yeah, we totally missed that. Well, I can take that back down this end while he's going to town. Let me turn my HUD back on. Hopefully he doesn't get confused by that little blank spot there. Looks like he's going to handle it. And we'll jump in here and take our headland pass all the way around. Get this finished up. Can't believe we got distracted and did that wrong. We're going to miss a couple of stocks there. I'm going to stop and get those because otherwise I think that worker's going to have a struggle with that. Maybe what I should do is what we did on the other end. I will grab my left-hand side and follow this all the way around, and then I'll come back and clean up this row that we're missing after the fact. That way I just know we're getting our headland pass all the way around here. Because it's going to be a variable amount of rows on the inside that we missed. I'm surprised at how well I can see my rows, even in the parts where I've double planted. The row crop part of this actually is working out pretty well. Just gonna stay on there, almost to the corner. It widens out a little bit there where we didn't overlap as well. And here we go. Looking pretty good. And I can just turn around and grab this whole section in the inside that we missed. See, it looks like we were off by about 2 rows consistently the whole way down here. Unfortunate. So with this whole mess all cleaned up now, what we're gonna do is just swing around here, take this back down to the other end. I'm gonna actually start the worker off and have workers work both ways towards the middle while we go grab the grain cart and get the combines unloaded. At least that first combine should be getting closer to full. We've got quite a few missed bits there that I'm trying to pick up, though. We're addicted to trying to get every last bit of corn off of this field. Just trying to figure out the best spot to line up here. I guess I do have another round of headland here before we get on the straight up and down rows that I forgot about all the way around. This is why I should have just gone all the way around the field 4 times and not gotten all distracted with trying to optimize stuff. That's okay. We can take care of this last pass here and then just start him on the up down rows. So in order to line up with the same way that we're going on the other half of the field here, I think we were on the 180. So I'm going to try and just get this started on a 180. It's a little bit difficult to line up here. We'll get one more pass going where I've got a better view straight on with the rows of corn. I think I can get better aligned there and get that worker going. Here we go. 0 degrees then from this side. Oh, it says he completed the task. Well, that's definitely not true. Guess I need to go up a little bit. And he's completed the task. Okay, here we go. No, you didn't complete anything. There's corn literally right in front of you. What is going on? All right. Well, this worker is being lazy. We'll have to try it on a thicker bit of corn. Maybe it's because there's a bit too much of an angle there. I'm not sure what's going on. I would expect it to just kind of work here. Here we go. AI worker Betty completed their task. So this worker's not going to do anything for us. I don't know why this is being a problem. I'm very confused right now, especially because the other one is working fine. Why would that be? We're going to try it one more time here. Yep, this is just not going to work. So I guess we're just going to have one combine go down and be inactive for a little bit here while we go get our grain cart. I'm very confused and somewhat disappointed that we're running into this problem. We're at just shy of 700 bushels in this thing already, and we're only at 24%, which is just awesome. I'm glad we've got this big 9RX on here to get it pulled around the field, although it is struggling a little bit up this hill, even though we're not nearly full yet. So we might have to wait for that new case quad track to come out, the 715. I'd love to put that thing on a big grain cart like this and see how it does. It is convenient though. We're coming up behind the combine here right as it's starting down the other row here, pointing the right way for us to unload on the go. And it's just so easy to get in here with the big long pipe when we've only got the 12 row header. I don't know why he was slowing down so much there. Perfect. We're pushing over 1,000 bushels of corn and we're not even at 40% yet. I love it. We're going to just take him down to the end row here before we switch out. Should be good. We got over 1,000 bushels as well. And we'll just get back over here and start running this guy manually since he's not working out so well for us. I will start using the GPS here, I think, to keep us moving. Since we use GPS to plant these rows, it should work out pretty well for us as long as the width is set up correctly on our header. We're about to find out. It looks like I might be off a little bit. Control 2. It's saying I've got an 8.8 meter header. I should have a 9 meter header. Interesting. Maybe this thing's got a slightly smaller work width than I anticipate, or maybe it's calculating the size incorrectly. I don't know which it is, but either way, it might lead to a little bit of a mess. Although I expect the 2 rows that I left right over here is more my fault than anything else. There we go. If anything, a slightly smaller working width, while it'll put us off of our rows, will mean that we will overlap and get everything picked up when we're harvesting here. This is one of those awkward things where I'm off by just a fraction of a row. So we cut the crop down on the previous pass, but we didn't actually get the mulching and stuff done. So it looks like I'm pretty well lined up in the rows right now. I'm curious to see what this looks like when we make the turn back to my left. If I'm pretty well lined up on the rows down that way, we'll just ignore the visual issue that we're getting with cutting down a row sometimes. Lift and turn. We've got these curved rows, so we got to curve up here pretty far. Whoops, we enabled the GPS a little bit too soon. And what is the worker doing over there? It like skipped a full row of corn. My goodness. Everything was working so smoothly, and now I feel like it's all falling apart on me. Well, here's our next row, and yeah, this isn't lined up nearly as well as the previous row. It's because we're on the edge of 2 planted rows. You can see that the spacing is a little bit off. So some of my rows are good, and then the other ones are off by a half row. That is going to be the pain and agony here of running with a Rowcrop ready. Well, since our combine seemed to struggle getting this other pass over here, I might as well just head over here and grab it for him. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, he's backing up and going over there. Or no. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think base game worker is not quite able to handle Rowcrop ready when there's some gaps and stuff in there that it's not expecting. That's got to be what's going on right now. We'll jump over here and take care of it though. Hopefully it's not going to cause too many problems. And I'm really hoping that, that worker just decided that he's all done. Oh, so unfortunate. This was working so well. And now that we're in the last 20% of the field, everybody's giving me struggles. Well, I guess as long as I'm here, we'll go ahead and just unload this combine into the grain cart. And then I'll switch over and grab that one that just stopped on the other end and figure out what his issue is. Just kind of rotate between them. He's like full on parked facing the wrong way. Like, how does this even happen? It must be because there's such a wide gap between these two sets of rows is the only thing I can think of. So what I'll do is we'll come in here and just follow him down the end row. Maybe once the rows narrow up here, I'll try the helper again for a second. See what happens. First I gotta turn GPS off. Or no. I've got a helper going. He's doing his thing. Well, look at that. I don't know why this one works and the other one wouldn't ever even engage, but it is what it is. We'll jump back in here and start working on our up-down rows that we were on the other end. There's not that many passes left in this field, so we should be able to knock this out without too many more shenanigans. Looks like our buddy over there has gotten confused again. I'm not sure why he's backing all the way up there to do that, but I'm sure he's got a good reason. We're just gonna look the other way though, because it's gonna irk me too much to watch whatever that is happen. We're almost done here. We're back on track with our rows, surprisingly, and we're not even gonna have a single grain cart filled up by the time we're done with this field, which is awesome though. I love seeing this big equipment. I think though that as fun as Rowcrop already has been to play around with, it feels almost I don't want to say gimmicky, but I want to say gimmicky. It's like 80% of a realistic function, and I'm not blaming the devs or the modders, I should say, who implemented it. I think that just within the constraints of farm sim here, it is what it is, but I don't know. For the performance draw that it has on the system, and it really cuts down the available frame rates, I just don't know if it's worth it to run with Rowcrop Ready on bigger maps at least. Maybe if we were playing an old school farming type setup, you know, little 6-row, 12-row planners where we're doing everything manually without any GPS or using hired helpers or any of those kinds of things, it'd be a little bit of a different story. But I think for big equipment, large-scale farming, it's just not quite there for me yet. And with that last little bit there, we're all done. Let's go empty this into the grain cart and then take stock of how many bushels we got off of this. A relatively small chunk of field, to be honest. Once we get into that really big field across the way, we're going to be really pulling in the corn, I think. There we are, all emptied out, and we jump over here, 1,400 bushels, which should be just about a semi-full. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this up into the yard and get it set up in a good spot to unload into the semi. And we'll see how fast this thing unloads, because I'm very curious. And we'll get this corn in the dryer and figure out how to get this corn dryer working. I think what I'm going to do, instead of last time where I tried to put the grain cart on this corner, I'm going to move it over here on the back side of the barn. And then when I come around with the semi, I'll be able to unload like right here. I think this is going to be the best spot for this. We better leave it running though, so we can come in here with the semi. There we go. We'll get this pulled around. Should be easy enough to get into that dump zone, and we'll find out just how fast this Balzer grain cart can unload corn. I suspect it can go pretty fast. It's got a monster of a pipe on here. And at some point, I suppose I need to look into, I think I can adjust this pipe. Let me jump in there before all the corn is gone. And, oops, push F1. Pipe. Oh, I can go left and right too. That's awesome. I'm gonna raise that up to put it out a little bit farther. And then, oh, that's the door to my tractor. Well, that's perfect. All right, well, that's the front hopper all taken care of. If we jump in here, I'll just pull this forward and we'll get the back going too. That unloads mighty fast. I like it. I wonder if they actually set the accurate unload speed on this thing or if it's just a made-up value. Curious how long it takes a grain cart like this to unload in real time. And we got it all in here. We have just a little bit of capacity left in this semi. I forget what it is exactly. I feel like it's 1450 or something around there. But we're gonna go ahead and just pull this through. See when our front hopper's over the grate there. And boom, we've got corn going into the dryer. Now, let's see if I can figure out how to run the production chain. So this is the corn dryer. I am going to need propane. Luckily, I've got the buy production input mod from the in-game mod hub on here. So I'm going to go ahead and buy 1,000 propane for $30. And is there a way to do that more than 1,000 at a time? I don't know. Well, we bought a couple of runs of it and we have it activated here. These don't cost anything to be active, so we're going to let that run. And 1,000 will last us for a little while. It'll start cranking corn out through the dryer now. So let's go ahead and pull forward, get our other hopper unloaded here. And we should start seeing dried corn working its way through. I like it. And that reminds me, when is the best time for dried corn? January. So we're going to have to keep our eye on the market here and see when it's time to sell. Our soybeans will be ready in July for $388,000 of soybeans. So that's going to be pretty good. But we've got all of the corn emptied out here. The dryer's running. We'll go ahead and pull our semi out into the yard. And man, I think this is going to be a great place to wrap up today's episode. We have gotten all of our corn out of this first field. Next time we're gonna knock out these two little fields real quick. Maybe I'll even work on that off camera. I'm not sure yet. We've got this little field and that little field. They're not gonna take but a few minutes, and then we will jump into the big corn harvest over on the other side of the farm there, and that's going to be a bit of a course play taking care of that for us, which will be awesome. But as I've already said, that's all for today. Kedrick out.